Were you ever curious about why the color blue is so prevalent in Jewish tradition? We see blue in many ritual objects. We see it on Seder plates. Kippot are often blue, or have a blue strip. Challah covers are often fused with blue. Blue is the predominant color of the Israeli flag. Over there. And we often see blue on taluses, right? The prayer shawl that we wear during our Torah services. The importance of the color blue comes from this week's Torah portion. We read, "And God spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the people of Israel and instruct them to make fringes on the corners of their garments throughout the ages. Let them attach a petil tchelet, a cord of blue, to the fringe of each corner." In other words, the ancient Israelites had tassels on the corners of their garments, and these tassels were interwoven with blue thread. Now, since Jews never ignore an opportunity for a good argument, you might not be surprised to hear that rabbinic sages differed over the percentage of blue interwoven in the tassels. How much blue need to be woven in the tassels? Some say of the 4 tassels, 2 of them should have techelet. Others say 1 string should be blue. And others say half a string. What was the actual hue of the blue? Since Jews never ignore an opportunity to have a good argument, you may not be surprised to hear that rabbinic sages and contemporary scholars differ over what was the actual hue of the blue. Some thought it was sky blue, light blue. Others felt it was black, and still others thought it was purple. The reason that we don't know what was the actual color is that it was apparently produced only in the land of Israel, and it is speculated that after the Muslim conquest in the 7th century, the art of making techelet was lost. I love these mysteries because they point to what religion is really about. At its best, religion prods us, moves us, intoxicates us with the mysteries of daily life. I love reflecting on just these sort of questions. Darn it, what was the color? This is somebody's interpretation. And how did they make this dye? In my mind's eye, I can see the Israelite craftsmen specializing in the blue dye. The best educated guess of how techelet was produced is that liquid was extracted from snails that were indigenous to the northern Mediterranean coastline of Israel. This liquid was treated in some way, and the end result was techelet, blue. But since Jews never ignore an opportunity for a good argument, you may not be surprised to hear that rabbinic sages and contemporary scholars differ over what were the actual snails that produced the techelet. Some say it was the Murex trunculus snail. Others thought it was the Murex brandaris snail. And still others thought that it was the Taiheimastoma snail. Get it? That mean anything to anyone here? Taiheimastoma, you know, it sounds like some seafood dish in Thai restaurants, serving snails in some Thai spices and recipe. Here's the main point. Science and non-science are at the heart of this mystery of techelet. Scientists are experimenting with snails from Israel and from Spain and other places, and some believe that they have reproduced the color of techelet. You can go online and watch videos of how these snail extracts turn to blue upon chemical treatment, or sometimes they're just left out in the sun and they become blue. At the same time, there is a mystery that will probably never be resolved because the art of producing this color is lost. We will never know for sure. It's a mystery. And further, blue was interpreted in Jewish tradition by centuries of Jewish sages as bearing mystical and metaphysical import. According to the Talmud, by winding the threads of blue around the white threads of the tassels, one creates a symbolic connection between heaven and earth. Blue represents, in Judaism, the mysterious, mystical, remote, and transcendental dimensions of life, the infinite, beyond human reach and true comprehension. The rabbi said, blue is like the sea is like the sky, and the sky is like the heavenly throne. Gazing deeply at Tchelet, at this blue, should encourage us to think of God on the heavenly throne. Blue represents the emotional part of life. Even in contemporary usage, the word blue symbolizes emotions. I feel blue today, meaning I am emotionally overcome today. But whereas in contemporary usage, blue often has a negative emotional connotation, in Jewish tradition, sky blue was meant to refocus you on the presence of God in the universe, on the miracle of daily existence, and on the infinite. Gaze deep into the blue sky or the sky blue and think of all of the emotions, the miracles, and the mysteries of life. So when you take a look at that color, what should arise in your mind is science and non-science, snails and mystery. That's why we wear both white and blue in our garments. We are a combination of science, the physical laws of the universe, and the biological laws of life, but not only that. We are also creatures endowed with something else, some spirit, some mystery, some content that we believers call godly, divine. We have a tendency today to worship science as a god. We have indeed made enormous strides over the past century in our understanding of the universe. Even to contemplate the advances of science in the last 100 years is to realize how far we have come. Still, we don't know how to make tchelet. Anyone who has been hospitalized or has had a loved one ill can tell you what medical doctors do not always admit to themselves or their patients. Contemporary medicine is only partially science. There is much more that we don't know, even in the human body, than that which we know. It's the same for physical sciences. With all of their impressive knowledge, physicists can speculate about what happened back in time to the Big Bang, but not before the Big Bang. What happened before the Big Bang, they don't know, and others call God. I think somebody is sending a message here. We've become so conditioned to technology that we do not have the time or the disposition to consider the sense of the sacred. We believe that only what we see is real. It is Twitter teleology and YouTube theology today, brought to you in 140 characters and 5-minute videos. But faith is about what we do not see. Faith is about what is hidden. Remember that. Look for the sky blue in life. Jewish sages tell us that after the failure of the scouts described in this week's Torah portion, God didn't speak with Moses for 38 years. You will recall that the 12 scouts returned after viewing the land, and 10 of them gave a negative assessment of the people's capacity to enter it. God decreed that the people would wander for 38 years until the entire Exodus generation dies out and their children take up the cause. And during those 38 years, Jewish sages pointed out that God didn't speak at all. God didn't materialize. There were no more miracles, no more divine manifestations, just the daily challenges of surviving in the wilderness. God realized that the people's faith was immature. From all the miracles that they witnessed with their own eyes, they came to the conclusion that faith is about what they see. That's why God was absent and unseen for 38 years, so that the people could develop a more mature faith. Faith is belief even when God is absent from our lives. Faith is about the unknown. Faith is about surviving the daily challenges of our journey through the wilderness. Faith is symbolized by sky blue. Amen.